My name is Dr. Makovewala. I'm an aspirant for Vihiga County Woman Rep, and just want to give a recollection of what we went through in Homabay County, and this is for posterity purposes. One, because these stories get lost when another thing comes up, and the second one is just to show the kind of loss in the democratic and civic space that we're having as a country, and the violence that is being encouraged and funded by various politicians, as well as the fact that the government is looking aside as this violence is going on. So in Homabay County, these are my recollections. I drove to Homabay County on Friday. The rally was supposed to be on Sunday. So Friday and Saturday were calm, visited quite a number of places in Homabay. The hospitality of Homabay is top-notch, and prepared for the Sunday rally. On Sunday, together with other aspirants, we decided, because the road from Nyandhiwa to Sindo is 76 kilometers of madness, it is a rough road, it is a dusty road. The agreement was we meet the rest of the entourage a few kilometers, around 10 kilometers before Sindo, which was the second stop. So this is what we did. We approached the second stop and waited for the rest of the entourage that was coming from Nyandhiwa. We joined them. We went to Sindo very safely. We were received very warmly, organically by the crowd. I think you've seen the images on TV, and this was a very welcome relief to see that there are people who are believing in the Linda Mwananchi, in the Sifuna presidency cause. From there, we proceeded on a very rough stretch of road to Homabay, which was our last stop. This was probably around 4 p.m. Around 5 p.m. we changed the tarmac. I don't know what stop that was, and proceeded now through a very good tarmac to Homabay. Around 5 kilometers before we got into Homabay town, the convoy had around 100 plus cars. We were confronted with a road blockage. There were stones on the road, there were goons on the road, and suddenly there was all hell broke loose. We had people pelting at us, stones were being hurled at us, tear gas that I last saw in Maandamano, the Gen Z movement in town, when we were supporting as part of the medical team that was doing evacuation. The pink tear gas. This pink tear gas is only held by the police, but the police were not in sight. These were civilians who were hurling tear gas at us. We had live bullets. Our vehicle was amongst the last ones on the entourage, so we were really confronted by the crowd. The vehicle was severely damaged. The rear view windscreen was shattered. The bags that were in the boot were all taken. One of us was actually being pulled out of the Prado that we had, but he managed to jump over to the middle seat. We had one of us who was hit by a stone when they shattered the front passenger window, and we had the driver also injured. At some point we were driving over rocks. So many cars were driving with punctures. We had the ambulance also attacked. At some point we also saw policemen. This one we saw it for ourselves, dressed in police uniform, hurling stones at our car. Another time there was a live bullet that was, shattered. Luckily it hit part of the metal part of the car, and so it catapulted away. We passed policemen who were standing aside watching while all this was going on, fully clothed in riot gear, but doing nothing as we drove past. We had behind us was a white vehicle. I believe it is for Governor Natembea, the one that was carrying the sound system. All we could see was it was left behind. It had hit a pole, an electricity pole in the middle of the road. This time we're in Homabay town, and we saw it being torched. So even as people are saying we torched our vehicles, I want you to know that nobody stops in that mayhem to start lighting up their fires, to start lighting up their cars. We met another lot of policemen in Homabay town, and all they did was watch. So from 5 kilometers into Homabay all the way to Kindu Bay, we were being pelted with stones. This was 2 hours of agony, 2 hours of injuries, 2 hours of policemen watching, standing aside, doing nothing. This means that the state is also to blame. The policemen are there to serve everyone. And if this is what they did in Homabay, it means that they were instructed not to intervene. We had women who were dragged out of their vehicles. They were chopped up. They were taken to hospital by Good Samaritans. Those Good Samaritans were almost beaten. One of the aspirants was beaten while she was in hospital. I'm a medical doctor, and we know that this is against any medical ethics. A hospital is supposed to be a safe space. But the hospitals in Homabay County are down. The nurses are on strike, the doctors are on strike, so it was a skeleton staff that was operating. And it is a shame that as the goons of Homabay County are being used to attack people, they themselves don't have public services. They don't have roads. They don't have good roads in South Suba and North Suba. They don't have hospitals that are functional at this point. And yet you are being used by a politician to cause violence. We have stories of what happened to women that is, and you can't even talk about it right now just to protect their privacy. This is what they did to us in Homabay County. This thing was planned. When we came to Homabay on Saturday, the roads were already being barricaded. Hotels were invaded on Saturday night. This is private property. These are businesses in Homabay, businesses that employ the residents of Homabay County. They flashed out people, searching for people who are Linda Mwananchi. This is where this country has gone to. And yet, nothing, no statement from the president, whose constitutional duty is to protect our rights, our safety as Kenyans. And after that, those of us who lost property, we managed to drive with half a vehicle. You saw my vehicle online. It was half a vehicle. This is a vehicle that's been hired. This is a vehicle that's now a write-off. We went to Kisumu. We were received well by the police central commandant in Kisumu. We recorded our statements. We have lost property. We have lost lives. You saw a policeman being beaten up in full daylight. We know a policeman has lost his life. We know one of our security people has lost their life. We know people who are traumatized to death. This is what Governor Gladys Wanga, this is what Honorable Kaluma have done for people who were seeking their constitutional right for public assembly that was sanctioned by the police, for residents of Homabay who believe in the Linda Mwananchi slogan. As we said yesterday in the press, today it is Linda Mwananchi. The other day it was all Kalau. This is where the country is going to. And we don't call it out. I wrote about it, and the bloggers from Gladys, Governor Gladys Wanga have descended on my timeline, and they have forgotten that I'm a Mnyore. They're trying to water down our stories, they're trying to twist it up, but we are here to record the versions of our story as they are. So we continue with the Linda Mwananchi rallies. We will not be prevented from attending any of them. We are not cowards. We believe that this government and all its sympathizers, this government has taken Kenya down the drain. It's about time we stand up. 2027 is coming. My message to Kenyans: you have only one thing. You may not have ammunition. We did not have ammunition in our vehicle. We have only one thing in August 2027. This is our voters card. So on 10th August 2027, may this record be a reminder of the things we are going through as a country, and looking at the agencies that are responsible for taking action. I have seen NCIC has summoned Honorable Kaluma. Kaluma is just a puppet. Who is funding this? We have heard that people are being paid up to 4,000 shillings or more. Where is this money coming from? So don't go to the dog alone. Go to the handlers of the dog also. Thank you, and we will keep updating. We have not given up. Kenya is our country. We are here to ensure that we take back our country to its democratic space, to a space where services are available for people, to a space where people are able to have expression, freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly. Thank you very much.